the truth is there are also places that are like hell on earth, aren't there? I just got back from Haiti for the third time since the earthquake, and I know this about mothers in Haiti. If when mothers in Haiti run out of flour and they make cookies for their children out of mud, then that's a place of hell on earth. When 6-year-old girls in Thailand are traded or sold for sex, then that's a place of hell on earth. When women in Afghanistan are stoned to death for adultery, this just happened again a few weeks ago, a sin not much different than the ones you and I commit all the time, then that's a place of hell on earth. We better do something about it. And so my challenge is this: leave your places that are comfortable and do the things that are disturbing and change what is like hell on earth. God can use your life to do that. And so I'll say this: sometimes, think about it with me, sometimes you must act, you must do something to stop the very worst things from happening. That's how Jesus lived. Remember, he was walking into Capernaum, and in John chapter 8, we read that there were some men standing there with stones, and they wanted to stone this woman to death for adultery. So they said, "Hey, Rabbi, what do you think?" Instead of answering them, he started to write in the sand. And for years, there's been conjecture by theologians as to what did Jesus write in the sand, and no one's been sure. But right now, tonight in Memphis, I'm going to tell you, okay? He wrote this. He wrote, "The first one of you that throws a stone at this beautiful girl, I am going to beat you down like Chuck Liddell in a cage fight." That's what he wrote. Exactly. I think I'm right, because when he looked up, they were gone. And that's why I say sometimes you have to do something. You must act to stop the very worst things from happening. I had a moment with my dad in Africa a couple of summers ago. I was in Kenya on my way to the airport. My taxi was going pretty fast, and all of a sudden, a minivan in front of us changed lanes quickly. They clipped the rear quarter panel of another minivan that was full of passengers, like 17, 18 passengers. It fishtailed, and it flipped on its side and skidded down the highway, then on its roof. The roof collapsed. My first thought was this: if I'm honest with you, my very first thought was, Palmer, that's someone else's problem. Palmer, you don't have to stop. Palmer, you're going to miss your flight. There's supposed to be riots in Kenya today. The elections have gone wrong. So just keep going. But in that same nanosecond, this thought hit me: no, Palmer, you keep telling people how they live everyday matters. And so I yelled at my driver, "Stop!" And so he hit the brakes and he jumped out